We're going to talk about InDesign and how to create your document in this piece of software. It is a complex piece of software, but it is definitely worth your time because this is the industry standard. So when you open InDesign, the first thing you're going to do is select what you want this to be. So you can call it Report Draft 1. One thing that you want to make sure is set up is that, first of all, that it's set up as a portrait, which it should be by default, and that facing pages is clicked. If it isn't, it's just going to be one long row of pages, which you don't want. You want this to be set up to print both sides. All right, so we're going to hit create, and then the page is going to open, and it's going to open up a bunch of instructions, but we're going to ignore those right now. No, I don't want to learn more about InDesign. Go away. So I'm going to teach you more about InDesign. I don't need to learn more about InDesign. So what you'll notice when you open InDesign is that it has a menu on the left, it has a menu on the right, and eventually it's also going to have a menu on the top. These all do different things. So the menu on the left is very much like Photoshop, same thing. The one on the right is going to have a lot of the details that you really want, and you can change what's in here. And then the one on the top is called a contextual menu. So it's going to change depending on what you have selected. The first thing we're going to do is actually increase what we can see here so that the tools that we need are here and we can see what they are. So one of the things we're going to want to put is, let's see, paragraph styles. So under styles, paragraph style. And when you have it, you can just put it on the side here and it should click. There we go. So that you can keep it right here. Okay. So we've got paragraph styles. That's much better. So here's paragraph styles, character styles, pages, properties. We're going to add more stuff here just so that we have it. So let's see. What other styles do we need? We have character styles. Ooh, object styles. That's really important. So just put it over here so that you have it for later. Text wrap, we're going to use that as well. We're going to put that over here, have it for later. What else do we need right now? I think that's it. Objects and layout, this is fine. Yep. Text wrap tools. All right, so this should be good. All right, so the next thing you'll notice is right now we've only got one page, but if you click on pages, right, this is the page we have. We're actually going to add more pages. So to do that, we're going to drag a bunch from none down here. These are your actual pages down here. And you'll notice after that first one, when you add more, it's always going to add them in pairs because these are facing pages, right? So the first page is all on its own because that's the title page. But after that, it's going to be all facing pages, all double pages like this. So let's go back to the top. So here's that first intro page. We're going to leave that one alone for now. But we're going to move to the next page here. And what we're going to do right now is actually add a bunch of text. It's really hard to explain to you how InDesign works without adding a bunch of text. So I'm actually going to select a space here. Let's see. I'm going to put in a text box. And then I'm going to put in type. And at the bottom, I can fill this box with placeholder text. So this placeholder text is just nonsense. This nonsense, though, looks like actual writing, as opposed to if you just typed randomly on your keyboard and then you'd have a bunch of K's and W's and words that are 5 lines long. This is a random text that helps you visualize what things are going to look like later on. There's a technical term for this, by the way. It's called lorem ipsum, but it doesn't matter. Here's some text so that I can take a look and figure out how to make text look the way I want it to look. So the thing you'll notice is if you click in the text, you can select it, and usually maybe they got rid of the contextual menu. That's great, because you should never ever use the contextual menu. So here's what the contextual menu looks like if you put it in, right? So if you select the text, it'll open up this menu up here, just like in Word, where you can change the font, the size, the justification, etc. And what I'm trying to tell you is you should never use this menu. So actually, go ahead and put it on the new essentials here where it doesn't show, because you should never use this menu. what you should always use is to create a style. So we're going to click over here on the side, and you'll see how it says basic paragraph. And at the bottom, I'm going to say I'm going to create a new style. Oop, that's a new style group. That's fine. Then a new style. And by default, it's called paragraph style 1, which is really not helpful. Instead, we're going to give it a name that makes sense. We're going to call it chapter title. And then we're going to decide what we want it to look like. So what font we want it to be. If the font isn't already installed, you can install more fonts, by the way. You can just go online and find more fonts that you like. But let's use a pretty straightforward font. Like let's use Arial. That's fine. But this is way too small for a title. We want our title to be much, 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 much bigger. Right now you'll notice you can't see what it is, but if you hit preview, haha, now you see what it looks like. So this is nice, but it could be bigger, so let's make it even bigger. All right, and then you can change everything about this. You can change the indents and the spacing. Do you want it to align center, for instance? You can do that. You can add tabs if you want. You can change hyphenation. Generally, I don't like hyphenates, so take those out. You can change the color. So right now, let's just make it this color for now, this red, sure. This looks fine. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, you might realize like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't the title, though. This thing at the top is the title. This is the title. So if you just put the cursor on that line and then hit title, now you've applied the title to that space. Okay, so that is now a title. Let's say you want to do the same thing with your paragraph text. So we're going to create a new style. So again, what's this style here? We're going to call it body text. This is our regular character text here. So we're going to make it something very simple, very straightforward. So let's say in this case, I'm going to make it, let's see, something simple. I wish these were in alphabetical order. That would make my life easier too, but they're really not. Where's Times? Where are you, Times? Here we go. Times New Roman. Perfect. We're going to make it 10 point. And let's see, in terms of spacing, we're going to make it, I don't want an indent, but I want space before the paragraph and space after the paragraph. And I want it to align left justify and hit OK. And so then whenever you have any body that's just regular body text, you can either highlight it or just put the cursor there and it'll just apply the body text. Okay? And then let's say this is actually body text. You just click on that and now it's body text. And now you can create parts of the style that are based on that style. So for instance, let's say that you want your first paragraph to have a drop cap. So you would call this one drop cap, and you would base it on your regular body text. And the only thing you would do here is create a drop cap that is, let's say, 4 lines long and 1 character. And you can create a character style to make the character different. And then say, oh, well, this isn't the drop cap. This is just regular body text. So the cool thing here is that if you figure out that like your design doesn't work, let's say you think that the space before and after the paragraphs is too big, it's very easy. You just go to body text, you go to your spaces, and you can just reduce the space and it'll find every single instance of this paragraph style in the whole document, whether it's 1 page or 500 pages. And it'll figure out where they are and fix them. And this is why you should never ever use that contextual menu. Because if you use that contextual menu up top, it'll fix whatever it is you're clicking on. But then if you change things a different way, it will not find it afterwards. It's like that link is broken at that point. So here we can add another chapter title. And you'll notice when we do that we run out of space. There's a little red plus at the bottom here. And what this means is there's more text that isn't being shown. So then to do that, to fix that, you would scroll down here with the arrow. And notice now it says it picked up that text. It like grabbed that link. And then you're going to put it on the next page. And there's the rest of the text. So again, if you change the fonts so that it's bigger, let's say. Sorry about that. Let's change the paragraph style so that it's bigger. You'll notice that the text is going to move down the page all by itself. It's going to know to do that. So let's go to basic character formats and make it bigger. See how it's moving down the page? It knows to do that. It knows that that link should be there. All right. So you're going to create multiple paragraph styles. Your chapter title, subtitles, body text, caption, etc. I would strongly recommend that you give them names that you're going to be able to understand what they are, because otherwise it's going to make your life really, really, really hard. You can also change, by the way, the character style. So let's say you want that drop cap to be that same font as the header. You can do that. You can go into character styles and hit plus again, and you can call this one drop cap. And you can say that it's based on, oh, well, it's a new one, so we're going to make it Arial. And let's say 25 and color. And let's make it that red again. Boom, hit OK. And so now if we go back into paragraph style and find that drop cap, we can say that we want the this one to be based on, I should be able to find this, basic character, nope. I know how to do this. Where is it? Here we go. Under drop cap, say I want it this style, and there we are, and it designed it that way. Now we might realize like that's a bit large, so you can make it smaller, of course. So you can go back into character styles, and then change the size of this. And hit preview so that you can see. That's better. Hit OK. All right. So character style. When you create these character styles, you should do that for bold and italics, so that bold and italics are also the same on each one. So you just call it bold or just italic here. I'll show you. So character style, bold. And you can just say that you want it to be, you can leave everything else blank and just say bold, which should be here somewhere if I can find it. Where are you, bold? There we are. And so then it'll take whatever that other thing is and just make it bold. Right? It won't change the font or anything else. It'll just make it bold. Okay. Color style. You should also create a color style, which is somewhere. I'm going to find it. Okay. Window color. So you can create color styles by finding the CMYK code, or if you click on it, come on, if you click on it over here, you can use RGB. Oh, and here's the hex. There it is. So when you find the hex that you want, you can input it here and add it to the swatches, add it to the colors here for inDesign. Right, so that is part 1 of my instructions. I have a lot more to cover though. This is just the first bit. Still, I'm going to take a break and then we're going to do the next bit.